Hello, my name is Michael Guzwell. This is my Milestone 2 research check-in and video presentation. So I wanted to start out by showing some smart cities around the US, the top leading smart cities that we have, and just compare them to Tampa, see what we're doing well, what we're not, and then I was going to go into some of the problems that I found in Tampa related to smart cities and the Internet of Things. So smart cities just describes the new government and private developments in cities where we're combining technology and electronics to improve our cities from going green to reducing carbon footprints, becoming more efficient in ways we do things such as traffic and many other services. So some examples of these, like in Texas, they have smart water monitoring, which is something that I'm going to talk about a little bit later regarding to Tampa and some problems that we have with water leaks and damages that come from that. And a lot of costly damages can be reduced through smart cities and having these systems set in place that can prevent these things from happening early. Like Chicago, Illinois, they have streetlights that automatically dim when they're not needed. And even Texas having a upgraded electricity grid that allows easier renewable energy sources to be used for charging cars, running the grid, and keeping things as clean as possible. So that's a little bit more into smart cities. And then another aspect we want to touch on is the Internet of Things, and that is just a general term for the technological advances that we've made in the last few years, where we're combining smart technologies where they work together in a unit to give us information or improve systems. One example of this is in one of our examples in class was a TEDx talk from Singapore with Chiang Kun Hyun, where she is a architect in Singapore, and she explained how they use the Internet of Things to improve their smart cities. One example she used was these relay systems that she would set out um, through her neighborhoods that would tell her wind travel, to create the neighborhood to have the best airflow, to use less AC, which spots would have the most shade to put parks in, and which spots would have the most sun to put solar panels to maximize efficiency and still have a nice looking place to live. So this is an article that I found that described Internet of Things and the potential setbacks that it may have, and the use of SDN, which is a software-defined networking, which is an improved network system that um, prevents a lot of cybersecurity attacks that comes with Internet of Things and this new integrated technology that is all around us, which can be susceptible to internet attacks, which is something that can be seen in Tampa, and we have a history of cybersecurity crimes that have happened in Tampa. One example of this is from a few years ago. Um, a hacker tried to turn off some systems in a town's water supply to add dangerous levels of chemicals into the water. Luckily, this problem was resolved very quickly, so no damages were made, but there were high amounts of sodium hydroxide that were trying to be put into the system that could have been very detrimental for many residents in the Tampa area. Another example comes from a construction company um, that had one of its workers resigned and downloaded confidential information and secrets from the website. Um, This isn't necessarily a Internet of Things or smart cities issue related to Tampa, but it is a cybersecurity matter that just highlights the importance. And then here is the 2021 IC3 annual report, which is created from the internal crimes report of the FBI. It shows the complaints. This chart shows complaints and loss in revenue from people across the globe. So in 2021, $6.9 billion was lost through cybersecurity crimes in that year alone. And you can see that this trend is increasing every year by 1 to 2 billion, showing that this problem is a growing issue and it needs to be solved. And then these are some other crimes related to cybersecurity, like phishing, non-payment, personal data breach, and it shows in 2021 phishing is extremely higher than any other year by far. These charts here show the top 10 states by number of victims and loss in millions of people in that area. So as you can see, Florida is number 2, only to California, for number of victims of cyber crimes, with 45,000 being reported in 2021. And then we were 4th in the top state to be for loss of money through cyber crimes, with 528 million. The next problem I want to talk about related to Tampa and smart cities and the Internet of Things is algal blooms, specifically red tide, which is Carenia brevis, a certain form of algae that grows in the Gulf of Mexico along the coast. Um, if you've ever been in the beach, certain times of the year, you've probably seen it. It's a problem in Tampa, and it's leading to a lot of local fish populations dying or being reduced in numbers, as well as manatee populations. And this also affects the Tampa city in itself because being a coastal area, we're a very large tourist destination, and having our coast destroyed with dying fish and algae blooms is not good for being a tourist destination, as well as our seafood that we eat. A lot of these toxins can go into the fish and oysters, clams that are collected along the coast and can cause skin irritation, eye irritation, asthma if it's inhaled. Um, so it's not good. And there are ways that we can help mitigate this. There are new concepts being created to solve this, but there's a lot that can be improved through the Internet of Things and integration of new technologies, such as a rapid deployment system that can tell us when these algae blooms are going to be happening, and a filtration system set in the water that can clean this out, which is something that we can look in later. Um, but for now, we're just doing research on the issue, so I won't go into that too much. But scientists are studying the use of seaweed and parasitic algae to fight this red tide. And then this is a chart of all of the red blooms, with red being high, gray being not present, and you can see throughout the year from August to October, July to October, it was very high for 2021, and it seems to be a seasonal issue. And then the last issue that I wanted to discuss regarding Tampa is the traffic. As everyone must know, Traffic in Tampa is not the best. If you go to certain hours of the day, during rush hours, it's very busy. Congestion is very high. Um, it's actually, according to the world ranking on the traffic index of 2021, we're 201st, which is not good. We average 21% congestion, meaning in a 30-minute drive, it takes 36 minutes on average to get there, so an extra 6 minutes per 30-minute drive, which is leading to many people being late for a lot of meetings. This can be decreased through Internet of Things and these resources, such as, like I said in the TEDx Singapore talk, Chiang discussed how you can have sensors on the highways to detect when this is happening and deter people onto different routes, or you can be um, on Uber. They can see that there's traffic one way and it can divert them to a different route in order to keep a steady flow and get people away from the congested areas that it can clear out a little bit more. Um, so there has to be more research there on that, on the solutions for what we can do with the Internet of Things to make Tampa a smarter city with traffic, with our coast and those red blooms, and then with our cybersecurity. Uh, I want to talk to local groups regarding the algal blooms, to see what we can do for this, such as the Environmental Protection Agency and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. Um, talk to local leaders and officials and professionals regarding this problem and see what they think about it, what's been going on for solutions, and how Internet of Things can improve these. And that's all my research up to this point. Thank you very much.